देवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. In the Gita, you will notice it's a dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, and every chapter has a colophon. You understand what is a colophon? C-O-L-O-P-H-O-N. Colophon means that the end of a chapter, end of a book, there is a distinct remark which is repeated every time. So here you will see, you can see take any chapter, the last portion of the chapter, second chapter you take at the end, the very last. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Sankhya Yogo Nama Dvitiyodhyaya. Similarly, in Karma Yogo Nama Tritiyodhyaya and so on. Let us try to find out the meaning of these phrases. Om Tat Sat Iti. The Bhagavan himself is explained later on. Om Tat Sat is the name of Brahman. Om Tat Sat Iti Brahmano Trivida Smrutaha. I'll tell you the verse number. Go to the 17th chapter, Saptadashodhyaya, and 23rd verse. 17.23. Om Tatsaditi Nirdesho Brahmanastrividha Smritaha Brahmanastena Vedascha Yagyascha Vihitah Pura. Brahman, all of us know Brahman. Brahman is your own self. Brahman is a supreme being. It can be Saguna, it can be Nirguna, whatever. The supreme reality is designated in the Upanishads as Brahman. And Shankaracharya was constantly insisting that the Brahman has to be realized as your own self, the Atman. He always will say it is not the Brahma-jnana or Atma-jnana, it is the Brahmatma-aikya-jnana. Atma-Brahma-aikya-jnana. Realizing, should we stop now?
No, keep going.
Realizing that what you call Brahman, the Supreme, is also identical with your own self. The idea of Brahman as apart from yourself will lead you to duality, one. Secondly, it will not be useful to you. Everywhere, in any occupation, any study, any pursuit, everybody will ask, what is the relevance to me? This is called Adhyatma. Adhyatma means one's own body and mind. You may talk about great philosophy, you may talk about high-flown theories. Unless I can show how relevant it is to my own life, you will not be attracted to this. Why many of these scriptures we are not so much attracted is because I don't find a relevance to my life. Many people have told me, you're talking about all the big things, but I'm not able to concentrate even for a few minutes. You talk about Samadhi. There's a beautiful book on Samadhi which we published recently in Bengali. One Tirtha Swami, we don't know who he is, but he must have been a great illumined soul. We found it in the rare collection of books by Swami revered Bhajanananda ji. He was very eager. There is out of print, of course. We retyped and printed it. So many varieties of Samadhis are mentioned. We had a 2-day seminar on Samadhi itself. And Bhajanananda said, nowhere in the world there's anybody had 2-day seminar on Samadhi itself. Because we started with the Yamaniyama, etc. The last step, as you know, is Samadhi. Usually people don't discuss Samadhi. We discussed this based on this book. Swami Bhajanandi himself gave the keynote address. So these are certain things to which you can't relate. In the Gospel of Ramakrishna, Kathamrita, you will see, he went into deep samadhi, came back samadhi, etc. It's so beautiful to hear. But what is that samadhi? How relevant is it to me? So all that you hear, you should somehow find the relevance to yourself, relevance to your sadhana, relevance to your life. Otherwise, it will not be very useful. That's why the Adhyatma word is used. Adhyatma means relating to your body and mind. How is it related? Even science. See, science, unless it becomes technology, it remains only a theory. All the great theoretical physics and theoretical chemistry and theoretical mathematics, topology, hyperbolic geometry, all that is wonderful. What is the use of that? The author may attend several conferences. If he is paid employee as a professor, he may get some increments. That's the only usefulness for that. How is the common man benefited? This is a question Vivekananda asked about Vedanta itself. All the beautiful theories are fine, but how does the common man benefit from this? So he initiated a great movement called Practical Vedanta, how Vedanta can be practiced in everyday life. In a beautiful letter he writes, Sarasanga Paraman, the dry Advaita should become living and poetic in everyday life. Out of bewildering yogism must come concrete moral forms. Out of hopelessly intricate mythology must come the most practical and scientific psychology. And all this must be put in a form that even a child may be able to grasp it. That is my life's work. That's what he did. If Swami Vivekananda's complete wisdom had not been there, none of us would have understood what is Upanishads, what is Vedanta, what is yoga, in such a simple, direct language. Many people, great scholars, have criticized it, saying he's made it too simple and therefore diluted it. See, great incarnations come to dilute, quote unquote, so that people like us can grasp. When their power is behind it, it's not dilution. It is making it simple for people to understand. Scholars want to make it complicated. You know what is the definition of scholarship? To make simple things so difficult to understand so that nobody can follow. They say, did you follow what he said? Oh, Maharaj, it's so too high. That's what it is. I speak such Sanskrit, some people, Sanskrit scholars also, such English, nobody can follow that. Otherwise, what is the use of scholarship? Here is an incarnation like Ramakrishna in the Kathamrita. If you read the Gospel, the Kathamrita, the simplest language and the easiest paradigm and the example. Ek mar paanch chele, ma cherchi, kao ke maacher pulao, kao ke maacher chachuri. Sentences, just one line consisting of two words. A mother had 5 children. So he cooks according to the taste and according to the digestive power of each of the children. This is the example he gives for Dharma Samanvaya and harmony of religions. Remember this. The ultimate truth is absolutely simple. So the simplicity of the ultimate truth baffles us because we want to make it complicated through a stupid intelligence. This is what Ramakrishna taught M. Make it simple. So a person who can explicate and describe highly complex truths in simplest of language is a person who is a real genius, who has completely grasped the whole truth about this. Half-baked people, scholars, they make it so complicated in conferences that you have attended. So nobody can understand what he is trying to say. And people who don't understand behave as if they have understood because you will follow it. If you say you don't understand, people will think you are not a scholar. Yeah, I understood what you said. So he says here, Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre. If Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat is the name of Brahman. Om Tat Sat is Nirdesho Brahmana. Brahman can be described through three simple words. One is Om, other is Tat, the third is Sat. All the three of them designations of Brahman, Nirdesho. Then he says, in every colophon at the end of each chapter, Om Tat Sat Iti. That means the name of Brahman. You can call it Om, you can call it Tat, you can call it Sat. Why it is mentioned is because the moment you utter the word Brahman in whatever form, it is considered not only sacred, it is auspicious. Auspicious and Mangalamaya. Everywhere when we begin a talk, we begin a lecture, we do Mangala Acharana. Shantatma began by saying, Om Stapagaya Dharmasya, etc. You remember God, you remember Sri Ramakrishna, Mother and Swamiji. That whole function becomes Mangala, auspicious. There is a big discussion in the Brahma Sutra Bhashya of Shankara. Shankara, when he wrote that Adhyasa Bhashya, which is called Upodkhata, the beginning of the Brahma Sutra Bhashya, he never did any Mangalacharana. Every Upanishad, even Gita, he does it. Scholars are now worried why Shankara did not go for Mangalacharana. There is one Tika called Ratnaprabha. He makes a beautiful statement. He begins by talking about Atman, your own inner self, which is identical with Brahman. And Atman or Brahman is the source of all auspiciousness, all Mangala. So separate Mangala Sasana is not necessary because it begins with talking about Atman. So, Om Tat Sat is the Mangala Vachana, which is mentioned at the end of every chapter, the beginning of the colophon. Om Tat Sat Iti. Then what is Bhagavad Gita? Om Tat Sat Iti. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su. It is Saptami Bahuvachana. Bhagavad Gita is Trilinga. Most of this great spiritual wisdom are all feminine. I used to funnily tell my male colleagues, you see, female people have completely monopolized all knowledge. Vidya is feminine. Medha is feminine. Prajna is feminine. Saraswati herself is presides over all goddess. So, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata Gita, Bhagavad Gita. That's called Song of God. The song which Sri Krishna sang is called Bhagavad Gita. So in Saptami Bahuvachana, in masculine you add Shu. Here it is Su. Gita Su. It is Gauravarthe Bahuvachana. It is actually Bhagavad Gita is one. Why plural is used? To show respect, you use Su. It's a very common thing in Sanskrit. Of course, Bengali. Abhinna Hridayeshu. Sri Charaneshu, they will always say plural. Bhagavad Gita, so in the Bhagavad Gita, what is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita, so Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre. These two words are important. It is Brahma Vidya, Shankara will say Brahmatmaikya Vidya. Brahma Vidya, it is the supreme knowledge of Brahman. Brahma Vidyayam. Why Yoga Shastra is added? Brahma Vidya is the science of Brahman. The principles about Brahman, what is the meaning of Brahman, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma, the definition of Brahman, all that is mentioned there, but how to attain Brahman is not taught so much in the Upanishads. Glory of Brahman is being taught through dialogue, through discourses, etc. So the science is not sufficient unless accompanied by technology. The technology is Yoga Shastra. Yoga Shastra, the technology of yoga due to Patanjali and many other acharyas, these two are usually taught separately. Yoga Shastra is a completely independent text, largely due to Patanjali and their followers, and the Tikakaras and the commentators. And the Upanishads form a completely different set. Usually they don't intersect. The Upanishadic text followers called Vedantins, they always have some kind of dig at yogis. The Mandukya Karika, which is one of the greatest of Advaitic texts due to Gaudapada Acharya. Gaudapada was the Guru's Guru of Shankara. He is the Guru of Govinda Bhagavad Pada. He has a dig at the yogis. Asparsha Yoga Vainama. This yoga which I am talking about in Vedanta is Asparsha Yoga. It is not Sparsha. Sparsha means touch. The Brahman is untouched. Brahman is the supreme being. It cannot be touched by anything. Brahma Samsparsha word is used in the Bhagavad Gita very tellingly. There are two kinds of sparsha. Vishaya Samsparsha, touch of the senses, sense objects. The other is Brahma Samsparsha. Brahma Samsparsham Matyantam Sukhamashnute, etc. And Yoga Shastra, yoga people are very much scared. That's what Gaudapada says. Yogino bibhyate hyasman abhaye bhayadarshina. Oh, these yogis, we talk about the highest Advaita Jnana, which is abhaya Jnana. It gives you abhaya, fearlessness. And yogis are terribly afraid of this abhaya Jnana. How strange. So these two usually don't intersect. But here is an immortal text called the Bhagavad Gita, in which he says, Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre. It is Brahma Vidya as well as Yoga Shastra. It is the science of Brahman is being explained and explicated, and the technology of the realization of Brahman is also taught. Science is Brahma Vidya, technology is Yoga Shastra. So now, the present day, we don't talk about technology and science separately. When technology came to be developed based on scientific principles, technology became more important than even science. Present day, we are trying to correct that. Too much of technology to the neglect of science will stagnate both science and technology. No new discoveries were made. Scientists make profound, deep discoveries and leave it at that. You don't ask Srinivasa Ramanujan about the application of his great theorems. You find out. So always there has been tussle between experimentalists on the one hand, yogis, and the scientists on the other hand, Brahma Vidya people. Even in science. When Einstein came with this general theory of relativity in 1915, it was not proven, many of the truths, the bending of a ray of light and so on. After about 10 years, 1925, Sir Arthur Eddington, his very close associate, during total solar eclipse, conducted a huge experiment and proved exactly that what Einstein predicted was right. Elsie was a student of Einstein. A telegram came to Einstein saying that his theory was right. Elsie came excited, "Sir, your theory has been proved to be right." Einstein was slipping a lazy coffee and said, "Yes, I know it was right all the time." She got irritated. "What would you do if it had been proved wrong?" Einstein smiled and said, "I would be sad for God, but I know my theory is right." That is the power of theory. Theory is impeccable, infallible. It can't go wrong. That is the mathematics. That's why India is so great. Even now, the software engineers in India conquering the whole world is because of theory. Very strong theory. Application comes later. Swami Sarvottamananda, our present Vice Chancellor, always talks about theory of computer science, theoretical. But nowadays, most people want quick fix solutions, quickly go for the applications, how apps can be applied. But how apps were originally produced by people who struggled hard, that you should know. So, this is both the theory is Upanishads, Brahma Vidya. Yoga Shastra is due to Patanjali and others. Here is an immortal text which combines both. Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre. And one more Upanishad does it, Kathopanishad. That's why Swamiji is so fond of this perhaps. Maybe the reason. Last verse of the Kathopanishad. This great teaching of Brahma Vidya was given to Nachiketa, the eligible aspirant, by Brahma Vidya Acharya Yama, and having realized Brahman through this, he became completely free from the cycle of birth and death. And the punchline, the last line, anybody else, anywhere in the world, at any time, can also realize the same truth, provided he or she goes through the same procedure. This is Vedanta, this is yoga, this is a challenge of our rishis to the modern world. You follow this. Don't think it is parochial, don't think it is regional, don't think it is only for India. Anybody, anywhere, any human being. Swamiji goes to the extent of saying even dogs and cats have the right to samadhi. In the Raj Yoga he says, what is the meaning we don't know. Mrityu proktam nachiketo dalamtva vidyametam yoga vidhim chakrishnam brahma prapto virajo bhut vimrithu anyopyevam yo viradhyatmameva. But you follow the procedure, the same yamanima, etc. The story of Swami, the founder of Bilghariya Students' Home, Swami Nirvedanandaji, he was a disciple of Swami Brahmanandaji. He was a very brilliant student, he was a science student. Meghnath Saha was his classmate, the famous physicist. Meghnath was very upset and very angry. Such a brilliant mind, he has been completely spoiled by Ramakrishna, etc. Became a monk. So once he came to visit him, then he said, oh, I feel so sad seeing you with this Giruva robe. What a waste of talent, how much you could have achieved, etc. You see, Khagain is the older name. Can you show God? We can show in the laboratory. Show me, you have been here for so long as a monk. Can you demonstrate? He said, no, let us not argue now. You come, you can have a cup of tea. I said, how did you come? Oh, by some rickshaw. Oh, call the rickshaw man, he will give some prasad. It's a standard tradition starting from Ramakrishnanandaji. Anybody entering the portals of the mutt, he should be given prasad first. He may be a rickshaw man, he may be a driver, whoever he is. So, the rickshaw is called. He said, Meghnath, can you explain your discoveries of physics, etc. to the rickshaw? How can I do this? He has no background. He has not studied anything. Exactly so. I can't teach you these principles of religion and philosophy because you have no background. Go through the same procedure, then only you will come to know. And the challenge is the rishis. Anybody, anywhere, anytime will be able to attain the same realization. It is not esoteric, it is not secret, it is just open, transparent challenge to anybody. You follow this. This is the greatness of Upanishads, Vedanta, and Hindu philosophical doctrine. Swamiji mentioned this. It is timeless and beyond space and time. So it is both Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastra. When India became free, we set up, as you know, Indian Institute of Science, thanks to the inspiration of Swami Vivekananda to Jamshedji Tata, is well known. And immediately we started 5 Indian Institutes of Technology. Technology, science standing separately. The recent trend, a couple of decades, we have IIEST, Indian Institutes of Engineering, Science and Technology. We don't talk about engineering separately and technology separately. In the Ramakrishna Vivekananda tradition, we talk about both the Brahma Vidya, the realization, the Upanishads, and the technology called the yogas. 4 great yogas Vivekananda taught in such a simple language, and he repeatedly said, this institution has been created to show how all-round characters can be formed by a combination of these 4 yogas. I'll come to that. I've given the sheet also where Swami Vivekananda's quotations are given. Now, here, Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre, Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. How is this knowledge imparted? To whom? By whom? Spiritual knowledge can be imparted only by God Himself. This is our belief in Hinduism, in all the religions. It's called a revelation. Islam, Christianity, Judaism, they have their scriptures. And they are not the brain work of any human being. They are revelation, they are given to God. God has given them to the Prophet, Prophet has revealed to us. Because God alone can teach humanity, because He is the only person who is free. Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava. Very favorite phrase of Shankaracharya. Nitya should be added everywhere. Eternal. Eternally free, eternally pure, eternally awakened. He is the Supreme God and He alone can teach mankind. And He can teach mankind through the great prophets who are the pure hearts. And sometimes He himself come down. Very funnily we can say is, we believe that Vishnu is sleeping there in that Shesha Shayana and he is tired sometimes. Let me go, have a... when does He come? The Bhagavan himself says, when dharma is in the decline or dharma prospers, then I come. So, if everything is going well, God can't come. The God says, I'm tired, I want to go back. And then have a round of sojourn. Is everything going well, sir? Everything going good. What did Mahishasura do? I paid him for it. Remember, these great asuras also are blessed by God. Now they create the confusion so that God can come. So now the present day, many people are asking, what is happening? What is so much of war? This fellow is fighting with that. They don't take names, you know. And somebody is trying to prevent war. In trying to prevent war, the war is increasing. So this we feel tired with. So remember, it's the will of God. God wants something to happen. So God wants these people to create some confusion so that they can intervene. Then mankind will become so tired. Einstein was asked once, what kinds of weapons will be used in the Third World War? He said, I don't exactly know, but I can tell you what weapons will be used in the Fourth World War. What? Stones and arrows? Because civilization would have been wiped out. We will begin with the Stone Age again. So all the confusions happening, do not think that they are useless, they have some purpose. People will call you mad if you see that. Can you do anything about it? You're crying. So watch it and see how changes come to the world. Because the first and second two world wars, so many inventions came up. They say necessity is the mother of invention. Out of sheer necessity, many things came up. We do not know why these things come up. And Vivekananda says in the Jnana Yoga, there is no why in Maya. You can't ask why, there is no causality there. Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastri Sri Krishnarjuna Samvade. He teaches humanity coming down as an incarnation. This is important. If he teaches impersonally as in the Upanishads, Upanishads also has been revealed to the Rishis. They did not create the Upanishads. Rishayaha mantra drashtaraha and kartaraha. They don't create the mantras, they only saw the mantras. In their pure mind, the mantras were revealed. The Gayatri mantra was revealed to Vishwamitra. Every mantra has a Rishi and Chandas. Gayatri mantra has Vishwamitra Rishi. It is revealed to Vishwamitra. So all the Rishis picked up these mantras. When we were young, we did not even have transistors. Maybe I'm talking about 50s, late 50s or 60s. That huge radio with valves. Then when the song was going on, as kids, we used to go behind and see who is singing from behind. Then they said, no, the song is there in the cosmos, they are picking it. Huh? How is it possible? Exactly the same way, all the mantras are there in the cosmos. In the spiritual cosmic mind, called the Hiranyagarbha, all the mantras are there. If you tune it, then you get it. Then we used to make fun. In the radio, if you can't tune it, you just tune it just a few rounds, then completely goes to a different channel. Tune it, go to a different channel. So how many mantras are just floating around? If you're a jnani, you pick up some mantras according to your taste from the Upanishads. If you're a yogi, pick up some mantras from the Yoga Shastra. If you're a bhakta, pick up some mantras from the Bhakti Shastras. You can pick up anything. Or if you're a follower of Ramakrishna Vivekananda, you keep on tuning back and forth, enjoy all the mantras. There is the beauty. Ramakrishna said, why should be one-sided? I will sing so many ragaragini, so many kinds of music I will enjoy. Swamiji himself says, the famous lecture that also you should read, Swamiji says, two lectures. The ideal of a universal religion and the way to the realization of universal religion. It's a remarkable lecture. He says, he ends by saying, is God's book ever finished? It's a remarkable book of infinite pages. The Vedas, the Quran, the Bible, all of them are different pages of this book. Infinite number of pages are yet to be written. I will go to the cave and meditate with the Hindu who sees the light in his heart. I will enter the Christian's church and pray before the crucifix. I will go and take refuge in the Dhamma with the Buddhists. And I will go and pray in the mosque with the Muslims. And infinite number of prophets are yet to come. My salutations to the prophets of the past. My salutations to the prophets of the present. My salutations to the prophets who will come in the future. That was the liberality of approach of Ramakrishna Vivekananda, which each one of you should absorb in your deepermost veins and blood. Don't be one-sided. Enjoy bhakti, enjoy jnana, enjoy music, enjoy yoga, enjoy karma also. Each one is a valid path, and there is a beauty in each path. That's why repeatedly Vivekananda mentioned this as having derived from Sri Ramakrishna. Now when God comes as man, does he at all come as man? We don't know. People may doubt, how can the infinite come in a finite form? Can infinite be contained in the finite? What do you think? The answer is yes and no. Philosophically putting, rationally putting, no. But each particle in the universe, leave alone a human being, is actually a combination of finite and the infinite. Please read one more lecture. I'm telling you all this, I don't know whether you'll do that. The lecture is The Open Secret, Swamiji's lecture, Vivekananda's lecture, complete works. Swamiji used to give very interesting names, catchy names to call people. The open secret, what is that? People will rush and say Vedanta. He begins by saying the following. You take a grain of sand, you take a small flower. If you analyze it deeper enough, deeply, most deeply, you will see that this vanishes into infinite. You can never completely describe the qualities of a small grain of sand. How many varieties of dimensions it has, you do not know. So Rabindranath has a beautiful poem in which he says about human beings who rush for time, particularly in the modern age of management once again. They're rushing for time. We have no time. We have to look at the clock. You have no time to eat. You have no time to relax. The famous poem which we read long ago. What is this life so full of care? There is no time to stand and stare. Everybody is busy all the time, except one person. Who is he? God says, I have plenty of time. I don't do anything in the Bhagavad Gita. He should be the busiest person because a kind of urgency in the mind, restlessness of the mind makes us feel so. There's no time at all, etc. Our boys always used to feel terribly pressurized during examinations, as most people are. We are also used to be like that. So I called one psychiatrist, very famous psychiatrist, one of our ex-students, Dr. Uday Chaudhary. He is very famous in Calcutta. I told him, sir, come and talk to these boys. They're full of tension. He came and spoke to them. Then he said, I went to a management school. I went to a big company. Said, doctor, we do not know how pressurized. We have timelines to keep. We have deadlines to keep. You relax. No, it's impossible. We just can't relax. You do not understand. We have deadlines. Then he said, all right, leave it alone. Where do you live? Somewhere in Calcutta. Oh, there's a beautiful place to live in. There's a cemetery there, Christian cemetery. You know, Christians bury the bodies and they put a cross there, they put a epitaph. You know that. So huge, beautiful cemetery. You can have a long walk. And remember, the people who are sleeping there also said they have deadlines to keep. You do not know when your deadline will stop. So God smiles at your deadlines. You do your best. Don't be insincere, be hardworking, do your best. Why do we get oppressed? Why do we get terribly obsessed? Because we're expecting the fruits of our Bhagavad Gita. I'll come to that. We expect something to happen tomorrow, and therefore today we are slogging and we do something, nothing is coming. What will come at what time is not decided by you, even if you believe in God. Strange dynamics of karma, you do not know how it happens. You go to an examination hall, very dull student, he becomes the first. They asked one of them, how did you become? See, I chose certain questions thinking they might. It clicked, I got all the questions of my choice. He doesn't know anything. If you call it luck, you call it karma, you call it God's grace, I don't know. It happens every time. I give the example to all my students. You know how many times Sachin Tendulkar got out between 90 and 100? You know the statistics? Our boys know the statistics. In one day and in tests. 90, 95 he gets out. I asked the students why. A batting genius, a world class, coming from 0 to 90, 91, 95, why did he get out? Because till 90 he was playing the ball and the merit of the ball with full flow. After 90, century. His mind is on the karma phala, not on the karma. So students were complaining, this is a useless theory. Without expecting karma phala, will anybody, any fool will do anything? I want to play the match, only to win the match. You see, you are not playing the match to win the match, to play the match. If you concentrate on every ball, automatically you will get the runs. 95 to 100 is only 5 runs. The moment you feel I should achieve this, your mind goes to the future, the present is lost. So I explain Karma Yoga by saying, Karma Yoga means play every ball on the merit of the ball without looking at the scoreboard. You look at the scoreboard, your focus is lost. So God teaches these lessons to you through revelations. Sometimes He comes down, that's what we believe, because every particle of sand, every flower, every man, what to speak of animals or human beings, or men or women, every one of us is a peculiar combination of the infinite and the finite. You think about this. Are there any doctors here? You think of the human body. Unfortunately, I studied physics all my life, fascinating subject. I regret I should have studied biology and human physiology. I know very little of human physiology except that the heart is here at the left and the top. I don't say it is in the bottom. What an amazing machine that nature has produced. I don't call it God. Just meditate on the human body. How does it digest? We had the breakfast in the morning and happily we are sitting there. Who is digesting our food? Suppose you say, I want half a day's leave to digest my food. People will call you mad. Who digests your food? Are you worried about digesting the food? None of you. Why? Because you have full faith in nature, nature will digest. There are peculiar laws which nature has made, and how nature cures your body is amazing. You will know better. A doctor wrote, we treat, nature cures. None of the doctors can cure you. And it's a self-regulating mechanism, and body knows how to cure itself. You eat all kind of junk food and fast food and spoil your stomach, and the nature knows how much to absorb and how much to throw out, and there are terrible pain in the stomach. It makes you fast because you have no other choice. Animals are better off because they go by instincts. A dog, when it is not well, it not even touch food. It will come and go away. Man, out of greed, goes on eating and gets ill, and nature punishes you by stomach pain and all that. You don't eat. Nature cures you, and nature doesn't come and tell you, my child, yesterday I cured you. You ate so much of junk food, etc. Please don't do it again. We do it again. Again and again. Nature, like a kind mother, does not tell you, why did you do it again? Oh, my child, you did the same thing. All right, you are my child, I'll cure you again. With infinite patience, nature does it. Human body is the greatest example of a combination of the finite and the infinite. Even now, the greatest of brain people, the brain surgeons and the brain doctors have not understood even 1% of the brain. That's what they say. Do you have a pen drive? Yes. How many GBs? 10 GB, 15 GB. What are the bytes of the human brain? Maybe terabytes or how many bytes? Any idea? Some calculation they have made in the internet I saw. Human brain should have infinite number of bytes. We have seen people who could remember the whole of Ramayana, Mahabharata, the Vedas, all the Vedas they knew by heart. Our brain is also the same brain. Why is it we are not able to remember? We are woefully neglected. So there's so much of rusting has taken place in the brain. If a human brain, human body, any system you take, alimentary system, then reproductive system, it's an amazing phenomenon how a child can be born of a mother's womb. So you become a creator. Your mother is a creatrix. God has given this power. And look at the nervous system. Nervous system is beyond all the neurosurgeons. They don't understand anything of the nervous system. Only some examples of every part of the human body. There's no part which is useless except the appendix, they say. There should be some use, I don't know. Even now they say appendix is not useful, they cut it off. So every part of the human body, and what to speak of the human mind, and what to speak of the spirit beyond it. The huge combination, the finite and the infinite takes place at every level, even nature. Rabindranath says, "Oh Lord, we are scrambling for time. Time is infinite in thy hands, O Lord. You take any amount of time to perfect a small flower. We are so greedy, we scramble for time. Take your time, relax. If you tell them, no, you do not know, we have so much work, you will do work. Everything will be done much faster if you don't worry about it." So he comes down because he is the infinite and the absolute. And to teach that you are also infinite and the absolute, he has to come and tell you that. And some of the incarnated Krishna, thundering miracles they perform so that you believe in him. Like Ramakrishna, he doesn't perform miracles. What is the greatest miracle Ramakrishna has performed? All of us sitting here. I am a miracle, he is a miracle. We didn't want to come. What made us come? What made you people come spending so much of time and energy and money? He pulls you. Some kind of a mysterious, unknowing, mystical pull you feel so that I will go and attend this. What is the benefit you also do not know? We also don't know. So there is a mysterious law in spiritual life in which he pulls you to himself. If he is impersonal, absolute, unknown, then you don't connect to him. Human beings can connect only to humans. This is a well-known psychological law accepted by everybody. The law is the ideal which you want to project, the ideal which you want to follow, that can be recognized, understood and followed by a person only when it is put in a human form. Our idea of the ideal is to be in the form in which you yourself are. It is conditioned by that. Swamiji makes a statement in the Bhakti Yoga, if all the buffaloes in the world unite and then think of God, they'll think of God as a huge buffalo. If all the fishes in the world unite and have a conference and think of the nature of God, they'll think of God as a huge fish. All the human beings combine together and think of God, they'll think of God as a huge human being. How to distinguish between my human being and that human being? Give him 2 more hands. If I have 2 hands, Kali has 4 hands. And Hinduism is very liberal in allotting hands to God. Ashtabhaja Durga, Durga has 8 hands, and there are Tara has 1,000 hands. With 2 eyes we can see, give him 3 eyes. Just to show he is more powerful than you are. But he is like you. Unless you can think of the reality God as like you, you cannot relate to him. What is the use of that God? Ashabdam asparsham arupam avyayam tasarasam nityam agandhavachayat anadjanantam mahataparam dhruvam chayatan mrityumukhat pramuchyate. Understand a word of what I am saying? He cannot be thought about, then you can't think of him. He cannot be known by the mind, then what do you do? He cannot be touched. The eyes cannot see him. The indriyas cannot grasp him. Let that God rest wherever he is. I don't need of him. So if God has to be perceived, the Brahman has to be seen, he has to be born as a human being. Upanishads also agree to this. Upanishads are Vedantic. Upanishads also agree to the idea of the incarnation of God in a totally different way. They project it. They call the Guru himself is a manifestation of God. Advaita Vedanta believes it. Since they don't worship God in that sense, they say Guru himself becomes God. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo, Maheshwara, etc. Not that Guru is Brahma and Vishnu. The power of Brahma, the power of Vishnu, the power of Maheshwara flows through the channel of a human being so that you can directly perceive it and connect to it. Water is somewhere in the tank. That is filled up by the rainwater. When you open the tap in the kitchen or in the bathroom, the water flows. Water is directly available in your own place. You don't put a garland on the tap and say, oh tap, you have given me water. That's only connected to the source. Don't think the Guru is giving you this. He is connected to Satchidananda, and therefore from that it flows. All the Gurus are only channels of Satchidananda. Incarnations, Ramakrishna says, are huge pipes in which gallons and multi-million gallons can flow. Others may be small pipes, and this much water is enough for me. So the power of God, the power of Brahman flows through this. So from here we get a very important concept. The power of Brahman is called Shakti. Brahman doesn't incarnate. Incarnation is of Shakti of Brahman. And the Brahman itself cannot incarnate. Brahman is Ashabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Nanta Pragyam, Na Bahipragyam, Na Veda Pragyam, Na Prajnanaghanam, Na Pragyam, Na Pragyam, Adrishtam, Avyavaharyam, Agrahyam, Alakshanam, Achintyam, Avyapadeshyam, Ekatmapriyananda, Prapanchopashamam, Shantam, Shivam, Advaitam, Chaturtham, Manyante, Sa Atma, Sa Vigneyaha, Mandaka Upanishad. Not a word of it you can understand. It's very beautiful to listen. It's a kind of spiritual infotainment. You have a lot of information about Advaita, a lot of entertainment. It can put you to sleep also. So you can't really relate yourself to this. Because as long as you feel you are a human being with a body and mind, you need a God who has a body and mind, but infinitely more powerful. If you go beyond the body and the mind, you can relate to them. That's why Ramakrishna was very fond of this shloka by Hanuman Mahavir. Rama asked him, what kind of attitude you have towards me? Deha buddhya tadasoham, jiva buddhya todamshakaha, atma buddhya todevaham, iti me nischitamatihi. Ramakrishna used to quote this. As long as I feel identified with the body and the mind, I think I am your servant. When I feel I am the Jivatman, I feel I am a part of you. When I feel I am the Supreme Self beyond the body-mind, I know I am one with you. So you go to various processes. Swami Vivekananda says, Dvaita, Advaita, Visishta Advaita are 3 stages in which you pass to attain the acme, which is Advaita. So incarnation of God is Dvaita and Advaita is one. That is the beauty of incarnation. Bhagavad Gita teaches you both is supreme impersonal and also warns Arjuna As long as you feel the pull of the body and the mind, you feel you are the body and mind, don't attempt thinking of the infinite Brahman. That will be terribly troublesome. Klesho adhikatarastesham impekta chetasam. Klesha means difficulty. You will not be able to do this. The body is pulling you. I am telling you, Mano buddha ahankara chittani naham, I am not the body. Oh, terrible pain, back pain. I have no hunger, I have no thirst. Terrible hunger in the stomach. So Sri Ramakrishna says, be truthful to yourself. I have a hunger, it's a real hunger. Don't say, the unreal hunger is coming to me. Why should you fill it with real food? You have unreal food also. So you might talk about all this. As long as the pull of the body and mind is there, you have to compromise. Not because you are compromising with truth, that is also a part of truth. Vivekananda made a very beautiful statement. Man is traveling not from error to truth, from truth to truth. A lower truth to higher truth and the highest truth. The entire way of spirituality is laid with truth. Satyameva jayate nārutam satyena bantha vitato devayanaha. Vitata means spread out. The whole path to spirituality, to Brahman, to the infinite, the supreme, is truth. The first step is truth, second step is truth, third step is truth. You are traveling from truth to truth to truth, still you attain Brahman. Nothing is to be discarded. This is the extraordinarily beautiful statement of Sri Ramakrishna, which Swamiji preached in the Chicago Parliament of Religions yesterday, but in 1893, and which is now spreading like wildfire everywhere in the world, because the most practical, doable religion, which is most universal, no animosity, no quarrel, yours is also a truth. If you think of your own pet so close to you as God who has saved you in situations, think of that. Yudhishthira refused to enter heaven, Swarga, without his pet dog. You know what he said? This dog which has served me so long for decades on end, most faithfully, if I enter into the heavens without this dog, it will be adharma. And therefore, dharma preaches me that I'll take this dog. They said, no, dogs' bodies are not allowed. He said, I will take this dog. So these are the truths of the Mahabharata, which is much more practical than the Upanishads and other high-flown scriptures. Mahabharata gives you the practical truth, Gita being the part of it. How to practicalize this religion. Dialogue between God and man. Sri Krishna Arjuna Sambhade. Because God alone has the power and the capacity to teach you. Krishna Arjuna Sambhade, Sankhya Yoga Nama Dvitiyodhyaya, etc. So we started 5 minutes late, so I have 5 more minutes now. Now, why does God come? If at all, if you agree, He comes. We agreed, whether you like it or not, that He comes down. Why? I told you, the psychological fact, you can't relate to anybody as long as you feel a human being to any other person other than a human being. A great human being, a huge human being, most powerful human being. You are bound to relate a human being as long as you feel that as a human being. If you don't feel I'm a human being, you don't need anything, just like in deep sleep. When you're deeply asleep, there is no God, there is no Guru, there is no mantra. You are the one with Satchidananda, although covered by ignorance. That's what Upanishad says. Upanishad calls Sushupti is Sarvakesha Sarvajna, Esha Antaryami, etc. in the Mandika Upanishad. So if we agree, then God has to teach us. As long as we feel that a human being, you have to agree and accept God comes down as a human being. How He comes down, etc., we do not know. Bhagavad Gita talks about that. We'll discuss it in the afternoon. Bhagavad Gita says, I come down, mysterious is my coming down. And people seeing me as a human being neglect me, ignore me, insult me Because they see is only Krishna standing there. Arjuna also couldn't quite understand. See, the same Krishna, I played with him, I slapped him, I pulled him by the hair. When he saw the Vishwarupa, he simply fainted. Bhita Bhita Pranamya, not only one Bhita, Bhita Bhita, double Bhita. And he wanted to bow down to him, he was so infinite. He bowing from the front, bowing from behind. If anybody see making pranam from behind, Arjuna did it because he was so confused, so terribly afraid. Namah Purastad, Namah Prishtadaste, Namastude, Devavaras Sarva, going round and round. Oh Krishna, please pardon me, please pardon me. Shamaye, please excuse me, please pardon me. I thought you were Sri Krishna, I thought you were my friend, you are my Sakha. How much I played with you, how much you quarreled with you. Please, I did not know. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Then who are you? Then Bhagavan says, Akhya himege bhavan ugra rupa. He says, Arjuna say, Akhya, please tell me who you are. Then Bhagavan says, Kalos miloka kshayakrit pavritho. I am the great time or Kala who devours, destroys and kills everything. Oh, please don't do that to me. God is so compassionate, so He doesn't come to us. Many people say, I want to see God. Don't ask for that. If He comes, you'll run away. Like Arjuna. Unless we are fit. Arjuna was not fit. What to speak of you and me? Out of His infinite grace, He comes as an ordinary human being, hiding all His powers. Like in Ramakrishna's case. Even the little power Rama and Krishna displayed, He completely hid that also. Why does He come? This is the next question we'll discuss later. Just a few minutes I will introduce. What is the purpose of incarnation? Why should He at all come? One answer I gave you, if He does not come, mankind will not be able to realize the higher spiritual truths. Why? Because only humans can be connected to humans. We can, as human beings, we can get connected only to humans, appearing to be human. So God has to come as a human form, and even there is a beautiful sentiments. When Hanuman came, Krishna and Rukmani were walking. Then Krishna told Rukmani, quickly change yourself to Sita. I will change myself to Rama. Otherwise Hanuman will not be able to connect to us. Even their Ishta. So we have to have a human form. When he speaks like us, then we will say, oh, Ramakrishna also suffered. He also had pain. He also cried. He also was Sita. When Sita Devi was abducted, Ramchandra wept miserably. Then we know, oh, we are not the only ones, we are also crying. So he acts like a human being so that we can connect to him, but he is not a human being. He is divine, it doesn't reveal you to us. Then you will go far away. Sharada Devi, how many examples are there? Sharada said, no, I am your aunt. Shubhu once asked to tell me who you are. So I am your aunt, what else? No, you should tell me. If she revealed herself as Kali or Durga, people would have simply fainted. Haripremananda was a disciple of Radha Devi. Mother had some rheumatism in the legs. Some oil had to be applied. He was applying the oil and he said, what? Is this Devi's legs? Rangapa is beautiful, red, soft, divine legs. Charana. What kind of Charana? Immediately looked at mother. Mother showed him as Jagat Dhatri with 4 hands, dazzling, brilliant, simply swooned. The mother said, what has happened to you? No, I don't know what happened. God of His infinite mercy hides His real form so that we relate to Him. But He is not human. He is divine, appears to be human, we can relate to Him. So many causes of His incarnation given in the Bhagavad Gita itself. There's one remarkable statement in the Bhagavatam. This is thanks to the Madhukari. All that I say is only Madhukari Viksha. Madhukari, they make from... So my Madhukari, that ideational Madhukari, from so many Swamis I collect, I keep them, but the cooking is mine. Madhukari as it is researched is not tasteful. I cook a little, put a masala and then some ghee and fry and serve is hot. I bring all the ingredients of the curry and serve is hot. This was thanks to Swami Tapasyanandaji of revered memory. It was very well in Bhagavatam. In the first skandha, there is a statement by Kunti Devi. Huge discussion about the purpose of incarnation. So many people said so many things. Kunti Devi has a remarkable insight which we'll discuss in the afternoon. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna. Am I too fast? Some people say I'm too fast.